So I'm just here at Adventure Motor picking up some Denali lights and safety equipment, and I'm off home to go and install them. And I think maybe Chris will come around and we'll just do a final check and installation this afternoon. Really looking forward to putting these on. They're going to be a great safety feature.
Okay, so I've just got back from Adventure Motor. Bought some safety equipment for the bike, and I must say I really do like that store. They've got some fantastic stuff. Some of it I have bought, and there's lots I would like to buy. But anyway, the reason for this purchase is because my son and I are planning a trip next year to the Americas. So we'll start off in North America, head into Central America, and then South America. And for a trip like that, I think safety is a really good thing to take into account. So I'm going to install the hardware on the bike, and then Chris from Adventure Motor is going to come and help me with the installation of making sure that the lights work and it's set up correctly. So let's see what's in the bag. First and foremost, the Denali D4s. They've got a really good write-up, and I thought, you know what, I think these are the ones for us. So those, there they are. The other thing I got, Chris actually persuaded me to get this, funnily enough. This is the sound horn, and I can tell you it really is very effective, and I think a really good safety feature. The other thing I got is also a tail light. This is really good, and we'll demonstrate why it is so good when we set it up. So there's the tail light, and then finally I got the CANsmart. This is the brains of the system, and it's really clever, the things it can do in terms of dipping lights and setting it up so that it actually works effectively. So there they are. Let me get busy and do the installation. Okay, so I'm not doing a full installation video because they've been done to death. You can look any of them up on YouTube. But one thing I just do want to show you that I'm very proud of doing is such a neat job. I think the wires are all really, put away nicely. This is the CANsmart unit. I actually took the whole section off the back just to get in there, because you've got to get it in here, which is where the connection takes place, and that's quite tricky if you've got the whole bike assembled. And this here is the brake light, which you will see shortly. We're going to demonstrate that. And then here are the lights that I've just put on. Now there is one thing I do want to show you, and that's how you put the horn in, because I got quite confused. So let me just show you how that works. Here it is, all right? It's in the middle of the forks. And I was trying to undo the nut. You can see the nut there, or the bolt on the left-hand side. It's sort of a silver color. I was trying to undo the one on the right, and that's actually welded to the frame. So I really struggled. So all you do is you just undo the one on the left, and then you just attach it in between the forks. And just push it quite far back, otherwise it will foul up with the forks when you turn the handlebars. Other than that, it's a really straightforward installation. All right, well, now it's time to put it all together, I guess. Yeah, so thanks for coming, Chris. Chris has come here from Adventure Motor just to finalize the installation. Yep. So I've done the hardware, and now he's showing me the software.
Yep. So you've already downloaded the accessory manager onto the computer.
Yep.
So now we basically plug the included cable in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little tiny rubber plug that comes out of the back of the Denali CANsmart here. And then we can pop the cable in, and now you'll see the light down here's gone solid.
Right. Okay.
And now we're just showing here that the computer's detected at the firmware device.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, firmware upgrades required. So we're just going to click on yes. Right, so now we can see the firmware upgrades complete. We're just going to hit OK, and then we're into the.
Right, so that's quite impressive, isn't it? Hey?
It is. This is the fun part.
Yeah. Right. That's why you came.
That's right. This is where we get to make things flash and do cool things.
Okay.
Alright, so when you've done the installation, there's basically 4 circuits.
Yeah.
And each one of the little tails that comes out of the CANsmart is colour coded. So there's one with a red wire, a blue, a yellow, or a white. There's 4 separate options. So if you know what you've plugged into what, we can then basically click on each one of those channels. We can then choose what we're actually going to call it. So if the red circuit is light pair 1, then we're okay. We'll leave that as it is. If the blue circuit's your horn, then again that's okay. If your yellow circuit is your brake light, then that's okay. As an example, if it was your horn, then we just click on horn.
Right, you just change it.
And now the symbol basically becomes the horn. It basically tells us down here that we can have 10 amps continuous or 25 maximum for 25 seconds per circuit.
Right. Okay.
So now we've got this little drop down bar on the side here. We can scroll down here and we can choose what the behaviour is of this particular channel that we're in at the moment.
Right.
So we'll just start with one channel. So what channel have you got the horn on as an example?
I think it was where it was, on yellow.
On yellow?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we've already selected that, so we'll pop back in there. We've got horn is already showing as enabled.
Oh, okay.
So
and that's green.
That's on the yellow circuit.
Yellow, okay.
So we'll power the bike on.
It's going to be loud.
It's probably going to be very loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
That's loud. All right.
Horn's on. So let's just check that it's the right channel. So we'll disable the horn. Now we're back to standard horn.
Right, okay.
Re-enable, and we're back to the sound bowl.
Cool.
So let's have a look at the lights. So you've got this one set up as light pair 1. We'll select that. Now if we come around the front and have a look, so you've got the 2 Denali D4 lights down there, both on. Now what we want to do is we want to configure these so when we put the indicator on, the light on the side of the indicator will go out, so that this is more visible to an oncoming vehicle. So we'll just test this one. So you can see this one goes out.
That one works.
The other one's staying on, so that's configured correctly. And then it comes back on by itself. Now if I pop the other blinker on,
It's still on, yeah.
Yeah, we've got to change the configuration on that channel.
Okay, so a bit of fiddling, but we've got it, hey?
Fiddling, yeah.
So we worked out the circuits.
Yep, so there's a diagnostics on here. So basically up the corner here, we click onto that, go to diagnostics, and now what it shows us is how much current is being drawn on average.
Right, by each circuit.
For each circuit. So what we can do now is if I touch the brakes, the yellow circuit is the rear brake light, so if I drive that all the way up to the top, and if you just look at the back of the bike,
oh yeah, it's on, hey? And then you're drawing the current. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see how much power it's using.
Yeah.
In diagnostic mode, it wasn't triggering off the actual brake switch.
And that's really bright, isn't it?
Yeah, so then I can turn that off.
Yep.
And turn that back on through the diagnostic output channel, and that shows us what's going on.
Yep.
And then over here, this one we can see, if you look at the front of the bike, you can see that that's the right hand light, me turning that up and down. So now we know which circuit's which.
Yep.
So now we can drop out of there.
Very clever.
We've already set this up now based on what we've just learnt. So we've got the left light in channel 1.
Yep.
We've got the right light over here on the white circuit. We've got the brake light on the blue and the horns on the yellow. And that's setting it up that way because that's how it's physically connected down onto the CANsmart device. So now what we can do is we can go in here and we can change the way the lights behave. So we can change the day intensity on the computer down to 10%, and we can have the night intensity on high beam
100
at 100. Because that's when it's in high beam, we can actually reasonably leave that at 100 anyway.
Okay.
Because that's only when we hit the high beam switch. So for low beam, we'll run daytime intensity at 10%, and then night intensity, we can run that. So the main reason that we'd run this at 50% or slightly higher than 10% is that when you flick between high beam and low beam, the brights are so bright that when you take them out of high beam, unless you have this up at a reasonable rate, you actually end up with your eyes take a little while to adjust.
Okay,
so
I'm
if
with
you run that at 50 or 60%, you don't end up with that dim patch when your eyes are trying to respond to it. because they are a very high output
That's
light.
clever.
So we'll just have a look down here on the right hand side. So we can choose that they turn off when we turn the signal, when we activate the turn signal.
Yep.
We can choose to have it to strobe when the horn's active. I actually normally leave that on. I find that's quite useful.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that, in fact. Yeah.
Strobe on flash to pass. So this is when if you hit the high beam switch 3 times, then the D4 lights will actually strobe to give people the understanding that you've come past. And the reason for having this off was, as we looked at earlier, we can choose it to be off or to flash. So my personal preference is we have it off, so that when we put the indicator on, the driving light turns off, so that the indicator has its maximum visibility to an oncoming vehicle.
Okay.
Inverse flashing with hazards active, I'll show you that one. But basically, when the hazards go off, the lights go on. So it makes it look like it makes it very obvious that you've broken down on the side of the road.
Sorry, Chris, but that's a on-off switch, so shouldn't you just go scroll up, so shouldn't that actually be on to say turn off?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, I got you. Yeah.
Okay. So that's in the red circuit here. And then we go down here, and here's the blue circuit.
Yeah.
So this is the brake light. So there's a running light intensity, so we can change that to whatever it is normally running. So you'd normally run at about 10%, and you want it at 100%.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
So we've got a couple of options here. It can either be solid on braking, it can flash continuously when we're braking, or you can have it set so that it only flashes when you're braking hard.
I like it to flash when I'm starting to brake. Yeah, because. And also that bottom one, as you say, with the engine braking, I think that's good.
So with the 1200 or 1250, these bikes have so much engine braking that you can actually shut the throttle and slow down quicker than most cars can without actually touching either of the brakes.
Fantastic.
Exactly what you want.
It's really clever, isn't it?
Makes you more visible. It's much safer. And then down here on the yellow channel, we've got the horn enabled.
Yep.
So
all right. Well, should we have a look at what it looks like from the front?
Alright, so we'll start with left-hand indicator check. So indicating left, we see the D4 turns off. This is going nicely. This side's still active.
Still on, And
then as soon as I cancel blinkers, the light comes back onto the preset intensity. We've done left, we'll just do right again. So right blinker running, light off, this one's on.
That one's on.
Cancel.
And
then we've got
they're both on.
So we'll do hazards to look at the inverse flashing. So
Fantastic.
very visible.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you're broken down on the side of the road,
that's really good, hey?
huge visibility.
Yeah.
So we're back to daytime running at the moment. So if we go high beam once, we basically have our normal high beam on. We have the two D4s to 100%, we've set in the program. Now there's a flash to pass feature. If I hit the high beam 3 times quickly, it then puts it all into strobe mode. So it lets everybody knows that you have an intention.
Yeah, I have an intention.
Or even just to make people aware that you're there if you think someone's turning across you. And then
brilliant.
Back again, my favourite part, the old horn. Both these will flash at 100% when the horn goes. You'll also see the back of the bike. Tail light will go to 100% as well.
Okay.
To really show
people, everyone knows.
Let everyone know, maximum safety. People in front and behind and anywhere within earshot.
And then, just when I thought it was all over, Chris had something else to show me regarding the magic wheel.
Little gem here.
Yep.
Basically hold that to the left, and then after a few seconds the lights flash.
Right.
Down before I adjusted it.
There you are. Yeah, it's got a brighter,
brighter, and then I can just wind
you just wheel it back.
Yep. All the way to off.
Right.
And that's about 10%.
Okay. That is really clever, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you got some value out of it. I certainly enjoyed installing it, and that evening with Chris was fantastic. So, it's all part of the process. But I think, this is expensive equipment,
So if you are going to invest in something like this, the obvious thing for me is visibility for people up ahead of me. And so I would really strongly recommend, even if you just buy these on their own, they're fantastic in terms of that running light during the day. I think it just adds enormous value to being able to be seen. But if you can, I think the CANsmart is definitely something that goes hand in hand with the set. So that would definitely be my second purchase. You can always add additional lights later on, but as long as you've got the main ones. And then the next thing that's really important for me is that tail light. This is absolutely fantastic because it flashes. And especially, when you're coming to a stop street and there's someone coming up behind you, just that flashing can really make them aware that you are there. And then obviously, the old sound bomb is just fantastic. It's like a foghorn. And of course, when you hit the horn and the strobe lights go, it really is effective in terms of just that additional safety. So happy riding. I'm going to be using these over the next coming months or the upcoming months, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.